Welcome back. Thabo Bester will appear virtually tomorrow before the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. All 8 accused in his escape saga are appearing. The suspects include Bester's partner, Nandipha Magudumana, and her father. Others are former employees and contractors of the G4S security company. In fact, Magudumana has reserved her right to apply for bail at a later stage. Senior reporter Silindelo Masikane joins us now with more. Slee, just talk to me about why he has decided to appear virtually.
Good evening, William. It's not his decision, unfortunately for him, or should I say fortunately for the Department of Correctional Services. They made an application last week at the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court with the acting chief magistrate for Thabo Bester to be able to appear virtually from the Khosi prison. Now, some of the reasons we understand is because of some of the security and safety risks involved with transporting Bester from Pretoria to Bloemfontein, and from what we understand is that we are expecting a very brief appearance or proceedings rather of the 8 accused in court in the main matter tomorrow. And so I think for DCS, they believe that it's simply just not worth the risk of transporting Bester for short proceedings, but also of course it's going to be taxpayers' money that would be fitting the bill for the transportation of Bester from Pretoria to Bloemfontein. But of course we are expecting that after the main matter is heard, we will be then proceeding with the continuation of the bail proceedings for the 5 co-accused who began their bail applications last week. But to unpack some of what we are expecting tomorrow, I am joined by a legal expert, Mr. Mpumelelo Zigalala. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Just maybe let's start with this application by DCS to have Thabo Bester appear virtually. You know, some people on social media think he's getting special treatment. Some people think it's out of the ordinary. In terms of what you understand of the application, is this something that is different? Is Thabo Bester getting special treatment?
Not at all. Let me start by greeting good afternoon to you and also to your viewers. Not at all. In fact, it's something which is done usually by the DCS, presently for cost containment measures, and also if they don't have enough manpower to transport individuals to court. They have stated perfectly earlier, it's going to be a very brief discussion. So to spend all of that money and human resources for someone who's going to appear for plus minus 10 minutes, then go back, does not make sense. Where it matters the most and where the law would be serious when it says we need that individual in the courtroom and when evidence is going to be led. Now, in this case, none of the evidence is going to be led. It's pre-trial proceeding type of matters. There are no pertinent questions which are going to be asked. Certainly the stage is going to give an update in terms of saying, where are we in terms of the level of investigation? When can we expect affidavits to be exchanged and the matter to be charge ready? So if you're not going to really participate in these proceedings, there's no need for you to be actively or physically there. So I think this is why the DCS is saying, let's rather opt for this particular option. It is available and used countrywide. And it's not something new, and it does not certainly say anything about any preferential treatment. It's a normal business as usual for them.
Let's then talk about the bail applications. Before we start with those who have already applied for bail, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana has reserved her right to apply for bail at a later stage. Her legal team talking about some kind of new information or crucial evidence that they needed to consider before her application. Do you foresee that she would be applying for bail at a later stage? I mean, we are seeing with the 5 co-accused, the state already opposing the bail applications there. One would suspect that the state would also, in her case, oppose her application, given the fact that she actually had to be fetched from Tanzania to face the charges before her.
I think she is going to apply for bail. I think it was a good strategy from her side in terms of saying, let me use the other co-accused as a tester. I want to hear what type of evidence that the state is bringing out, so that when I prepare my affidavit, I'm able to provide all the relevant elements which are going to entice or force the court to give me bail. Let's go to those provisions which are applicable. Section 60 of the Criminal Procedure Act is applicable here. However, it says you are going to be released on bail if it is the interest of justice that you are released, but not only in the interest of justice. You must then provide a section of circumstances that allow you or put you in a good light. So I want to hear from the side of Dr. Magudumana. I want to hear what type of evidence is being brought in by the state. Certainly when I go in with my affidavit, I'm going to say I'm not going to evade any trial. You're able to confiscate my passport if it needs be. I can report on a daily basis at the police station. Secondly, you've gathered the evidence and all the witnesses are within your control. You know who they are. I don't even know who those witnesses are. So I'm not going to evade or conceal any evidence which would be best. So it's one of those things in which they will be able to provide all the relevant evidence that they would need. So she's basically going to say, everything that needs to be done in terms of the investigation of the trial is done and dusted. All the witnesses and the evidence has been locked and sealed. Please allow me to go out as it is my right. I'm still innocent as I'm standing here. Provide me that latitude of going out and being able to continue with my life while these particular proceedings are going to proceed in a normal manner. This is a very important trial which cannot start and end within a year. Why do you want me to stay in jail while you are still doing your investigation processes? Let me go out and then I'll come back and answer to my sins at a later stage.
Lastly then, Mr. Zikalala, talk to me about the likelihood of those who've already applied for bail being granted those applications. The state has raised concerns around them knowing who some of the witnesses are and possibly, influencing the investigations or interfering with investigations.
Depending on how you look at that, the mere fact that I know who the witness is does not necessarily mean that I'm going to influence them. There are measures that can be there. I can be sent to another province, for example. I can be sent to go and stay in another place in which I'll not be allowed to interact with the witnesses. 90% of the time, in any criminal matters, the witnesses would be known by the accused, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the accused should not get paid. So if there are set measures that are there and can be provided, it works in the favor of the accused in terms of saying, you have captured all those witnesses, you have collected all the witness statements, more or less someone has come to court and provided evidence. So that particular evidence has been locked and sealed and can be later used as evidence which is not going to change it in now-how. So the integrity of the evidence which has been collected thus far is going to enable you as the state to be able to proceed with this matter. I, on the other hand, as the accused, I'm still regarded as innocent. It's a right that you cannot take away from me. And just as long as I'm not going to interfere in your investigations, I'm not going to evade trials. I can give you my passports and all the other traveling documents that are there. I can even report daily at the police station. I'm still going to comply with whatever provision that is there. All that I need is that I must be able to go back to my family, be able to feed my family if I'm still working. So if you then take me away for a year while this particular trial has not even started, and only at a later stage to find out that I'm innocent, how am I going to buy back my time? Those are all considerations in which the court will have to do. And if you've been able to provide that it's in the interest of justice that you are released, most importantly, the exceptional circumstances that are within the facts that you provided to the court, then the court is going to say, let us release you and bail.
Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That is legal expert, Mr. Mpumelelo Zikalala, just unpacking what we can expect tomorrow in the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. And I think it will also be interesting to see whether there will be any considerations around public outrage if the accused are to be released on bail. We are, of course, expecting court proceedings to start just after 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, but we will be bringing you those visuals live on eNCA and, of course, unpacking with more experts tomorrow morning in the build-up to the court proceedings. Back to you in studio, William.
That was senior reporter Silindelo Masikane. Thank you.